All right, welcome friends. This is Justin, and a little bit of a different video today. Some of you will be interested in it, some of you probably not so much at all, and that's okay because I'm not fishing. I'm in the workshop, and recently a buddy of mine has acquired very inexpensively a whole bunch of tackle from a gentleman who passed away. And so his son sold it to us, just wanted somebody to use it, wanted a little bit of income to kind of offset the cost of taking care of his father's estate. And so we did. We purchased some of this stuff, and really it's so inexpensive, it's so cheap that really the only work into it is to organize it and to clean it up. And so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to pick out some lures for my buddy so that he can use them to fish when he relocates to Florida. And the rest that are non-Floridian type baits, or more trout baits and stuff like that, I will keep here with me in southern Nevada for fishing in Utah. So I'm going to start digging through this tackle. It's pretty cool, and I'll try to show you some things that are pretty interesting from this old gear. Some old lures, some new lures that just need to be cleaned up, and pretty good variety. So if that interests you, stay tuned. If not, I'll see you on the next fishing adventure. So I've started off, this is the old tackle box that I'm going to be using here, and I just cleaned it up with some wet wipes. And it's not perfect, but it's clean. There's nothing sticky in it, and most of the dust and everything is wiped off. We're good to start pulling lures out and sorting them and organizing them. Okay, so starting off here, I have some expertly tied flies and jigs, probably for trout, maybe for walleye. And let me show you this. This is pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. And so my buddy's not a fly fisherman, not yet at least, so I'm going to set those aside. In fact, I'm not that big of a fly fisherman. I try it occasionally and used to catch panfish, crappie, bluegill and stuff like that back in Missouri, but I'm not that big on it out here yet. Here's another one. Look at all these flies, and variety of colors and sizes, expertly tied. Some really cool, valuable stuff. I might end up actually selling some of this on eBay so that somebody gets some use out of it, because I'm not a fly guy. Not yet. Maybe someday. And so, after that, I'm going to set those flies aside. We got some spinnerbaits here. And most of these are just your normal spinnerbaits. These are little guys. You could probably catch a walleye on that. You know, funny thing about bass fishing is you can catch bass on just about anything. If it is in the water and it's shiny and wiggles even a little bit and has a hook on it, you'll eventually catch a bass on it somewhere. Not all the time, but you will. And so here's some safety pin style spinner baits. I'm going to set those aside for Pastor Bill. Okay, so as far as spinner baits go, in Florida, I'm imagining the bigger the better, because there's some big fish in there. And this is a little guy. You could probably catch crappie on that though. But there's a few of them in here, so I'm going to divide them up. Give him some, give me some. These would be great for a little smallmouth, maybe even some trout, panfish, little spinnerbaits here. Thing about spinnerbaits though is they will rot, and this skirt is nasty, so there's nothing I can do with that. So I'm going to pull it. You just got to reskirt it. You can buy skirts online, pretty cheap, pretty nasty here. But the spinners themselves are good. The jig head is good on the spinnerbait. You just got to tidy it up, get a new skirt on there, and take it fishing. So I'll pull that off of there, clean it up a little bit. All right, look what we got here. Mepps, Aglia size 4. I'm gonna take this this little skirt off of here. I don't need that on there. This is a pretty valuable lure. I mean, for big trout, for bass and river situations, smallmouth. A lot of fish will bite this, and you know, you buy this at the store, it's probably $5-6. That's a cool lure. Another nice big spinnerbait. Old style rubber skirt on it, but look how long it is. I'm going to trim that up just a little bit. Alright, we gave him a little haircut. It's just a little bit shorter. That's a big bass lure for Florida. That's going in Pastor's Tackle. Alright, so now I have Bill here, an assortment of safety pin style spinner baits for bass and smaller fish, and those will be sufficient. The rest I need to take home, clean up, tidy up, and do my thing with. So that's a good start. That's a good start. All right, we got the big box here. Big unveiling for what's in this dude. And well, let's just dive in here, shall we? There you go. Bill Dance crankbait. Doesn't even really need to be cleaned. That's going in Pastor Bill's tackle box. Just got some goop on the side of it, some paint or something on that side. Another little golden shiner crankbait. I'll think about that one. That might be one to stay here. It's a little bit smaller. I'll think about this one. I got a lake where that might be really good. And some of this stuff, look at this old jigging pig. I mean, there's not much, you can't really do much with that nowadays. Maybe somebody would somewhere, but it's not worth that much. It's going in the trash. Ooh, look at this. Blade bait. That's a Utah bait. Keep that with me. Babe Winkleman's Master Series Fuzzy Grub. Lindy Little Joe and Company. So this is probably a walleye jig. He did some hair jig. Oh, it's got plastic on it too. So that's again something to use in Utah. That's not necessarily a Florida thing. Some of you, if you're watching from Florida, you'd be like, I'll take it, I'll take it. But no. Here's a good lure. Nowadays, if you would purchase this at ye old Walmart or Cabela's, I got some rubber band around it here. Nice. That's a good jerk bait. Pull it through the water and jerk it. You can swim it real slow. Oh, here you go. Rapala. Classic jointed Rapala. And it's missing a hook, so I'll have to repair that one. More jigging pig, dried up jigging pig, yada yada yada. We got another Rapala here. This is staying in Utah. This is a rainbow trout pattern Rapala. I mean, you could catch fish with it in Florida, but it's specifically this would be good out here. We do have some classic bass jigs here. I'm going to trim the skirts up just a little bit. Those will be going to Florida. Okay, same thing with the spinner baits. These plastic skirts are just, they're just useless. So The hooks are still good, the jigs are still good. You just need to buy some new skirts for it. So yeah, I'm going to tear those apart, clean it up for later. Okay, we have two of these pretty cool hair jigs, but they also have some plastic skirts on there that are rubber skirts that aren't really working. So I'm probably just going to trim those off of there. Pink and green, that's probably, I don't know what to do with that. They'll catch fish somewhere, but that might go up on eBay. We'll see. On another inline spinner, this is your classic rooster tail, but the fly portion of it's all gooped up, and so I'm going to take that with the other spinner baits and clean it up. There's a lot of stuff here that some of it's garbage and some of it I don't know what to do with. A lot of jig heads to work with. You just got to buy skirts and stuff for them. Look at this old jig. Okay, it's got like this squid thing that actually goes over the jig head. This rubber, I don't know, and a trailer. I don't know what to do with that. Ah well. Oh, check this out. Unopened. These little bugs. Beetles. Ladybugs. Who knows how old that is? That's pretty cool. I don't know what to fish. You know, something's going to bite on it, but little bugs. Alright, shout out. What in the world is this thing? It looks like some kind of cast bubble bobber. If you're watching, the one person that might be out there, do you have any idea what this is? Comment below as to what this is. I'm not going to throw it away, but I have no idea what this is. And found this apparatus too, and I think it is a rod tip protector. Slip that over your rod tip, wrap it around there nice and snug, and no more Bill Dance breaking off your rod tip in the trailer. Split shot pliers, actually a pretty useful tool, especially when you get older like me and your little fingers don't work as well and your eyes don't work as well. It's a good tool. Here we have a couple Lure Johnson spoon minnows. They wobble on top of the surface. They're actually a subsurface bait, but good. They're weedless, and they'll catch just about anything. They need to be tidied up a little bit, polished, cleaned up, maybe even painted a little bit, but I'll work on those with the spinner baits I'm taking home. Another good example, here's a smaller rooster tail, but the hook's all boogered up here. But I could find a little hook and a split shot and repair that. So I'm going to keep that, tidy that up and use that for trout fishing next year. Just another little example of what I've got in store for me. Got lots of work, but it's fun work, relaxing stuff. So just something else to work on. Got the old Roadrunner. This thing's probably 20-30 years old. It'll still work, it'll still catch fish. Oh, and we got some spoons here. Spoons here to work with. Not even really rusty, just need to be cleaned up and polished and stuff. So more stuff to work on. Alright, some more in the category of I don't know what to do with. Old crawdad, and it's rubber, but man, it's kind of nasty, so I think I'm just going to pull it off of there and keep the jig head. This is like leather. It's crazy. Leather craw. I don't know what it looks like in the water. Again, I don't know what to do with it. Classic old bass worm, double hook bass worm. I remember fishing stuff like that when I was a little kid. Westies. That's pretty cool. Okay, here's the assortment of jig heads I have separated and pulled all of the nasty skirts off of, and now we'll try to organize those and get them all set up to reskirt, or at least set aside for future use. So I've got a handful of these things. I think these are for walleye, but I might be able to use them for trout. They float. They're hooks that float, and you know, you dangle it, put a sinker on the bottom, and this will float up off the bottom. Pretty cool. Alright, our last project here for today is to open up one of these mystery tackle boxes. Maybe I'll get into both of them. Ooh, the mystery. Actually, there's some pretty cool stuff in here. So, Berkeley Digger 3.5. That's nice. Here we got a quality bass jig. That'll go to Florida. That's a good lure. Yeah. This is a Adrenaline Bug Junior. 5 each. That could go to Florida. I'm not a big jig guy. Lipless crankbait by Castic. I love lipless crankbaits. Alright, so Lake Fork. Looks like some Cinco type lures here. Hyper stick. Oh yeah, you can do all kinds of things with it. Weightless, Texas, wacky, drop shot. That's good for some Florida bass fishing. A nice Lucky Craft crankbait. I've got something like that at home, so I'm gonna definitely give that to Pastor. I don't need it, and that's lucky for the mystery tackle box number 1. I'm probably going to use that to transport some. I'm going to use this to take some of this stuff home and organize it for my own stash. Anything that's not going to go to Florida. Let's do a little mystery tackle box number 2. Number 2. Okay, you got a. I think we just stuck that in there. That's just a little pan fishing rig. Bait cloud. Fish attractant. Shad scent. Huh. I don't know. Look at this little guy. Some of this I don't think came in the mystery tackle box. It was just stuck in there. What is this little thing? It's like a little bitty reel. Alright. Mini Zinger. Guggen Squad. It's a Guggen bait. They're still operating. Not as popular. Shot down a little bit. Little inline spinner. Trout slug. I'll take that. Trout fishing for Utah. Some more hooks. Another lipless crankbait. I'll give that one a PB. And another blade bait. That's probably going to stay here. So, all right, cool. All right, so that's going to do it for today. I'm going to tidy up and get ready to go to Praise Team practice for church and clean up the work area. Come back next week to do some more organizing of the fishing tackle and looting of the fishing tackle. This is pretty fun. So for all of you fish nerds who enjoy this kind of stuff, hope you enjoyed it. It's pretty fun for me.